flakes. Along the way, at the small obstacle of a couple of cops on a roof, the snow caked Barrow's coat and got in his eyes, plastered Drummond's back where he'd turned it as a windbreak. Drummond was trying for a flame from his lighter, but even with his hat shielding the flint, every spark was instantly quenched.
"Joe, can you go get the patrolman's flashlight?"
"Sure, Finn, hold on." Barrow stepped carefully back towards the little hutch holding the door to the stairs. There was already a mess underfoot. As he expected, the uniform who'd called them in from the phone down in the lobby was waiting only a few steps down on the narrow flight winding round the top of the elevator shaft. Just behind him was the night janitor who'd found the door unlocked originally. She'd gone out onto the roof and then run screaming out onto Creekside to flag down the patrolman. Neither of them looked what you'd call avid. The janitor, a heavy-set Teclusa in her 40s, had her mouth clamped shut to hold in shock or nausea. The patroller, only 20 or so, was doing the classic Takuma stone face, the set pose for male strength when something bad happened. He'd been out to the skylight, too. Not rubberneckers, not spectators. Yet there they still were, keeping close. Commanded, somehow, by the presence of death, compelled to wait attendance where it had visited. It took death repeated over and over, in Barrow's experience, death repeated in quantities too great for meaning, to wear that solemnity away. It took a war. Soldiers could learn to just walk on by in the presence of death. Not many other people.
"Give me your flashlight, Tastanagi." "Yes, sir." "Just detective." "Yes, detective. Sorry, detective."
Perhaps not even 20, thought Barrow.
"Hey,"
he said.
"Had the snow started when you went out?" "Not really. Just a few flakes, maybe."
"But nothing on the ground?"
"No."
"Uh-huh." So, nothing to be learned from footprints. No reason to worry about churning the snow. He turned.
"Officer,"
said the janitor.
"I need to go soon. My babies will be waking up, and my man's on the early shift."
"You must wait in case there are questions," the patroller said to her.
"Yeah, stay put," said Barrow. He went back out, jiggling the flashlight. It made a tinny, rattling sound from a loose contact. For a moment, the scene remained as it had been, whirling and blind, the snow that had congregated wormily in the dim blue street lamps down on Creekside Drive, blowing up and over the three sister towers of water and land and power, and spattering the looming bulk of the mound behind them, and weaving away in lines of flickering gray over the dark immensity of the plaza beyond. 57 varieties of dark. Then the switch caught. In the beam, the flakes turned to pearly swimmers, and what had been black on black leapt out into scarlet.
"Whoa!"
said Drummond.
"Messy."
"Yup," said Barrow.
"Finn, you're standing in it."
"Shit!"
said Drummond, backing and crouching to swipe the porridge of blood and snow off his black Oxfords. The huddled object on the skylight still didn't make complete sense. A body, of course, and one which had bled out in gouts down the glass. Oozed in the other ways death inflicted, judging by the smell reaching his nose through the chill of the snow and the city's usual bouquet of coal smoke and river. But though at one end it terminated in a pair of ordinary man's legs, dressed in the pants of a dark blue suit, at the other it seemed to have a bundle rather than a head, and from the wreck of the chest between, where blood seemed to have exploded more than just run, rose a shape like a pair of fans, or fish's fins. Rope ran a couple of times round, hog-tying the corpse to the summit of the glass and forcing the violated chest up. Barrow squinted, and the scene resolved itself. The bundle at the head end was the dead man's clothes, shirt and jacket and coat pulled inside out over his face. The peculiar fans were his ribs, cracked open and somehow pulled wide. Since he was the one holding the light, Barrow stepped closer and shone the beam in, on a cavity full of red ruin and streaked bone, with the tangle of liver and guts visible at one extremity, and a frosting of granular